here.
This equation y equal 3x plus 7. We have learned how can we graph this equation by taking points. And after graphing the equation, we deduced that this coefficient of x represents the slope of the equation, and this number here represents the y-intercept. Okay, so what is the slope of this equation? Tell me, what is the slope of this equation? Without graphing this line, what is the slope? Omar?
Yeah,
What is the slope of this equation?
3,
What is the y-intercept?
7.
حلو، يعني كده احنا عرفنا ان الايكويشن اوف ذا لاين لو هي مكتوبه بالشكل ده in this format، النمبر ده على طول بيكون السلوب، والنمبر ده بيكون الواي انترسبت. واحنا ما عملناش الكلام ده، ما قلناش الكلام ده كده وخلاص. احنا رسمنا في الاول وعلى الجراف وبعدين حسبنا السلوب، طلع السلوب ب 3 والواي انترسبت اللي هو 7. تمام. احنا عندنا 4 كيسز لللاين. اما اللاين يكون بالشكل ده، الانجل دي تكون اكيوت انجل. انا بتكلم على ايه بقى؟ على البوزيتيف دايركشن اوف اكس اكسس. That's the positive direction of x axis. The angle here theta is an acute angle. لو الانجل دي acute angle او اللاين شكله عامل كده، دايما السلوب بيكون بوزيتيف. السلوب is a positive. طيب لو اللاين كان كده بالشكل ده، ما تقوليش الانجل دي اكيوت، انا بتكلم على البوزيتيف دايركشن اوف اكس اكسس اللي هو اللاين ده. الانجل ده هتكون ايه؟ This angle is an obtuse angle, and if the angle between the line and the positive direction of x-axis is an obtuse angle, so the slope will be negative. So the slope here is negative. Okay. If the line is parallel to x-axis, so here the slope equals what? The line parallel to x-axis. The slope is 0. And if the line parallel to y-axis, the slope will be undefined. Undefined يعني غير معرف. عارف undefined يعني غير معرف، الاسلوب يقترب من الما لا نهاية. تمام؟ وفي الاسلوب ده في الحالة دي بيكون undefined. طيب هقول لك على حاجة تاني. بص كده يا باشا. If we have a line like this line here parallel to this line here, parallel to y-axis, like this line here. This line here is parallel to y-axis. أنا برسم line أهو وبارل to y-axis. هتقول لي طبعا أنت undefined إزاي؟ تعال ناخد coordinates كده. Let's take coordinates like here. I'm going to try to 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take this point and this point. What are the coordinates of this point? This point is what? This point here. I have a lot of points. Let's take just 2 points, like this point and this point. What are the coordinates of this point? This point is 3 and 2. And this point is what? 3 and 5. What is the slope here? The slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what is y2 minus y1? It's 5 minus 2, all divided by 3 minus 3. 5 minus 2 equals 3 over 0. 3 over 0 is undefined. and find. الكلام ده مفهوم؟ عشان عندنا زيرو هنا في الدينومينيتور. طيب تعال نشوف لو انا عندي equation بالشكل ده and I wanna get the slope and the y-intercept. اولا اول حل the first solution to graph this line. How can we graph this line? The first solution is to graph the line. How can we graph the line? How can we graph the line? قول لي كده ازاي نعمل جراف اللاين. خد points, take points like the point let's say the point when x equals 0. Tell me when x equals 0 what is the value of y?
3y equals -2, y equals -2 or 3.
So here if x equals 0, y 3y will be equal 5 times 0 minus 2. So 3y equals -2. Then what is the value of y? Y equals -2 over 3. So the first ordered pair is 0 and -2 over 3. طب خد فاليو تاني للاكس، خد الاكس مثلا ب 1. x equals 1.
3y equals 1.
يبقى 3y equals 5 times 1 minus 2, then 3y equals 5 minus 2 is what? Is 3 divided by 3, so y equals 1. So here the second order pair is 1 and 1. طب هتقول لي ما بحبش الفراكشن، عادي، انت لو عايز تاخد اوردر بير تاني ما يطلعلكش فراكشن مفيش مشكله. خد الاكس باي نمبر تاني، يعني حط الاكس باني نمبر لايك مثلا 3 2 4. ممكن ناخد 4 when x equals 4. Then 3y equals 5 times 4 minus 2, then 3y equals 20 minus 2 equals 18 divided by 3, so y equals what? 6. So the order here is 4 and 6. بص انا كده مش عايز منك غير الاوردر بير ده 4 and 6. احنا عايزين تو اوردر بيرز بس، وناخد 1 and 1 1 and 1 و 4 and 6. طبعا انا مسحت الزيتا دي كلها بس عشان اركز في اللي هقول لك عليه. بعد ما تاخد التو بوينتس دول هتروح تيجي على الجراف. احنا قلنا 1 and 1 4 and 6. سيادتك هتروح للجراف and plot the points 1 and 1 here and 4 and 6 بالظبط اهو. 4 مثلا هنا وادي 6 هنا اهو. 4 and 6. اوكي then join up then وصل. هتقول لي بس يا مستر انت ما طلبتش جراف. ماشي انا مش بتكلم على الجراف، انا مش عايز الجراف، بس انا عايز اقول لك شكل اللاين هيكون عامل كده اهو معاك. عايز السلوب، هتقول لي السلوب ايه؟ رايز اوفر رون اللي خدناها المره اللي فاتت، او ممكن الاسلوب ايه بقى؟ 1 and 1 4 and 6. Then what is the slope? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 6 minus 1 over 4 minus 1. 6 minus 1 5 over 3. ده السلوب. فاهم مشكله؟
لا.
ده حل على فكره، ده كده حل. يعني ازاي احسب السلوب؟ ان انا find two ordered pairs satisfying the relation. finding two ordered pairs بس satisfying the relation. طيب الحل الثاني ايه بقى؟ ده حل. الحل الثاني ان احنا يا باشا هنحاول نكتب الايكويشن على الفورم y equals mx plus c. ده حل تاني، ده السكند سولوشن اهو. كده احنا عرفنا الفيرست سولوشن بالجراف and the second solution to write it in the format y equals mx plus c. طيب the equation is 3y equals 5x minus 2. Divide by 3 here, and divide by 3 here, and divide by 3 here. So
y
y equals 5 over 3x minus 2 over 3. This here is the slope. ده كده اللي هو السلوب. Here is the slope. فاهم مشكلة؟ احنا لسه كنا حاسبينها من شوية كام طيب؟ 5 over 3. طب ودلوقتي معانا طلعت كام برضو؟ 5 over 3. Okay? And the y-intercept here is what? Y-intercept is انت عارف يعني ايه y-intercept؟ يعني the length from y، الطول اللي هو عدى عليه اللاين من الواي. يعني اللاين ده بيعدي على البوينت دي 0 and negative 2 over 3. Okay? So the y-intercept is 2 over 3 from the negative part. 2 over 3 from the negative part of y. يعني عايز اقول له ان الطول اللي عدى عليه من الواي 2 over 3 بس منين؟ من النيجاتيف بارت. او ممكن نقول له انه 0 and negative 3. That's the y-intercept. فاهم مشكلة؟
لا.
طيب تعال نشوف حل تالت. How can we get the slope? To get the slope, write x and y, the term of x and the term of y in one side. Like here, this equation, 3y equals 5x minus 2. We can move 5x here, so it's going to be 3y minus 5x equals negative 2. Then to get the slope, you will find the negative coefficient of x over coefficient
y
of y.
اوعى.
So it will be negative 5 over coefficient of y, okay? 3. So it will be what? 5 over 3. فاهم مشكلة؟
لا، هو لازم ال x و y يبقوا في نفس السايت.
Negative coefficient of x over coefficient of y, x and y must be in one side to apply this rule. It's negative coefficient of x over coefficient of y. طبعا انا بقول لك ازاي احسب الاسلوب، لكن انت بتحسبه بطريقه واحده بس. طب how can we get the y-intercept here؟ هقول لك حكايه y-intercept كده ببساطه. مش اللاين ده بيعدي على الواي في بوينت، البوينت دي بتكون فيها الاكس دايما بزيرو. x is always 0. So to get the y-intercept, substitute x equals 0 in the equation. So 3y equals 5x, 5 times 0 minus 2. Then 3y, 5 times 0 is 0, minus 2 is going to be negative 2. Then divide by 3, divide by 3. So y equals what? Negative 2 over 3. That's the y-intercept. When x equals 0, y equals negative 2 over 3. Okay? طيب هنا اهو. What is the slope of this line here in this equation here? What is the slope of this line?
The slope
is
7 over 5.
negative. We can find it directly because x and y, the term with x and the term of y here, y term and x term in a side. So it's a negative coefficient of x over
Negative
coefficient
5
of y. So it's a negative 5 here over negative 7. It's going to be 5 over 7 directly. So I managed to get the slope, okay, directly by using this rule, negative coefficient of x over coefficient of y. And what is the y-intercept? just put x or let x be equal to 0. So 5 multiplied by 0 minus 7y equals 8. 5 times 0 is 0. I don't care about 0. Negative 7y equals 8. Then divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. So y equals what? Negative 8 over 7. That's the y-intercept. So what is the y-intercept? It's 8 over 7 from the negative part of y. That's the y-intercept. طيب في حل تاني. Write it in this form. Y equals mx plus c. So here it's 5. The equation is given as 5x minus 7y equals 8. Move 5x to this side, so negative 7y equals negative 5x plus 8. And divide by the coefficient of y. Here, what is the coefficient of y? Negative 7, negative 7, negative 7. So y is going to be equal to negative 5 divided by negative 7. It's what? It's 5 over 7x. And 8 over negative 7, it's negative 8 over 7. So y equals 5 over 7x, negative 8 over 7. Here, the coefficient of x here represents the slope, and here it's the y-intercept. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. We can find the slope by using this rule. It's tan theta. That's the slope. What is this theta? Theta is the angle between what? The angle between the line and the positive direction of x-axis. Positive direction of x-axis. So here, this angle here is the angle between the line and the positive direction of x-axis. That's the positive direction of x-axis here. This direction here. And here it's the line. So what is the slope? The slope is going to be equal tan 60. Tan 60 is equal to root 3. Here, I want to get the slope. To get the slope, you have to find this angle. Because to get the slope, you might get the angle between the line and the positive direction of x-axis. Here, it's the positive direction of x-axis. Okay, so I want to get this angle. This angle here is 45, and this angle is 90, and this angle is 45. So what is the size of this angle? Is 135. That's the angle I want to get the slope. So what is the slope here in this case? The slope equals tan 135. So the slope equals tan 135 is going to be equal negative 1. Okay?
Okay.
Did you get it?
Mm.
Here I have this angle. This angle is 120. But this angle is between the line and the y-axis. No, I want to get the angle. It's not the required angle. I want to get this angle here between the line and the positive direction of x-axis. Here, it's the positive direction of x-axis. That's the positive direction of x-axis. This is the positive direction of x-axis. So what is the slope here in this case? I want to get this angle to get the slope, this angle here. So this angle is 120, this angle is going to be what? 60. And the triangle is right. This triangle is right. So I can get this angle. This angle is equal to what? Is equal to 30. So the slope in this case is equal to tan 30. Tan 30 is equal to what? 1 over root 3. Here in this example 10 135, if you clicked on the calculator you will get -1. Okay, sometimes when clicking on the calculator 1030 you will get √3/3, but we know it as 1/√3. Do you have any problem?
No. بس دي في negative part of x.
I mean the negative direction, the positive direction. That's the positive direction. يعني ايه positive direction؟ هي فيها حته في النيجاتيف بارت. على فكره ركز معايا في الحته دي عشان دي بتلخبط ناس كتير. بص يا باشا، ده كده اسمه البوزيتيف دايركشن، وده كده اسمه النيجاتيف دايركشن. ده كده اسمه النيجاتيف دايركشن. ده انا بتكلم على الانجل between the line and the positive direction of x axis. يعني انا بتكلم على الدايركشن ده، لكن هي دي في النيجاتيف بارت بس انا بتكلم على الدايركشن ده. تمام
تمام. اللي هو من الحتة.
What do you notice here? The two lines are what? They are two parallel lines. The slope here is the same as this slope. This angle here, let's call it θ1, and this angle here, it's θ2. What is the relation between them? They are two corresponding angles. And I said to you that the slope is equal to tan theta. So because the two angles are the same, so here tan θ1 here is the same as tan θ2 because they are equal. θ1 equals θ2 because they are two corresponding angles. Okay, so here the slope of the first line, slope of L1 equals the slope of L2, M1 the slope equals M2 the slope of the second line. Here the two lines are perpendicular. And I said to you the slope is rise over run. So if we are going to take a point like this point and rise here, run here, you will get a slope. And if you want to get the slope of this line here, the second line here, you will rise here and run here. You will get two slopes and they are not the same because here we observe that here it's the rise is positive and here it's the run is negative direction. Okay, and here the rise is positive and here the run is positive. انت فاكر ان الاسلوب كنا بنحسبه ايه؟ طيب rise over run. عشان احسب الاسلوب هاخد rise over run. طب تعالى كده بس نطلع كده الحته دي كده، دي rise كده. تمام، ودي run اهي. الاسلوب هنا هيكون ايه؟ هيكون بوزيتيف على فكره. ولو انت هنا عايز تحسب الاسلوب هنا، الاسلوب هنا هتقول لي رايز برضو اوفر ران كده. الاسلوب ده مش هيكون بوزيتيف، هيكون نيجاتيف. وهتلاقي ايه بقى؟ انا عايز ارسم لك الاكس اكسس والواي اكسس، فركز معايا لحظه بس كده. نرسم الاكس اكسس والواي اكسس.
نرسم الواي اكسس.
That's اكس اكسس يا باشا، خلي بالك.
حلو.
And this line here is y axis. انا برسمه من اي مكان، مش هتفرق معايا، ممكن احرك ده كده، مش قضيه. بس انا عايز بس اوضح لك فكره معينه. فهنرسم الواي اكسس كده بالشكل ده. طبعا مش كل البربنديكولار لاينز طبعا هيكونوا بالشكل ده، بس الانجل دي، تعالى let's write مثلا write 30. What is the slope here? Slope equals tan 30. It's 1 over root 3. الانجل دي يا باشا بكام؟ ب 90. خلي بالك الانجل دي ب 90. طب عايز السلوب بتاع اللاين التاني، هاخد الانجل دي كلها، لان انا باخد البوزيتيف دايركشن اوف اكس اكسس. تمام. فالسلوب اوف سكند لاين is going to be equal tan 120. tan 120 هتلاقيها نيجاتيف روت 3. تمام. فالتو لاينز دول هتلاقي ان الاسلوب ده والاسلوب ده they are not the same، مش زي بعض. But if you multiplied them, if you multiplied 1 over root 3 multiplied by negative root 3, you will get a negative 1. الله. يبقى كده if the two lines are perpendicular، معلومة مهمة خالص دي. التو perpendicular lines يعني لو L1 perpendicular to L2 يعني two lines are perpendicular. So M1 multiplied by M2 equals what? Negative 1. Okay. So let's say that the slope here of L1 equals 2 over 3. So what is the slope of L2? انت اللي هتقول لي بقى. هتكون ايه؟ negative 3 over 2. ليه بقى؟ Because when multiplying 2 over 3 times negative 3 over 2 you will get what? Negative 1. يعني ايه؟ يعني if the slope of L1 مثلا negative 5 over 6, what is the slope of L2? غير الساين هنا خلاها بوزيتيف and switch off numerator and denominator. It will be 6 over what? 5. في أي مشكلة؟
لا.
Once again, the slope of the straight line which makes with the positive direction of x-axis a positive angle of measure theta, the slope in this case equals tan theta, and tan theta is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. If the slope of a straight line is more than 0, what's the meaning of more than 0? More than 0 means positive. The slope is positive if the angle is between the type of the positive angle which it makes with the positive direction of x-axis. That's the positive direction of x-axis. Between the line, what is the type of the angle between the line and the positive direction? I said it, the angle is what? Acute. We have 4 types. If the angle is acute between the line and the positive direction of x-axis, here that's the line, and here that's the positive direction of x-axis. If the angle is acute, so the slope is positive or more than 0. If the angle is acute, the slope is positive. If the angle is obtuse between the line and the positive direction of x-axis, like this line, and here it's the positive direction of x-axis, this angle is obtuse angle. So the slope here in this case is negative. And if the line is parallel to x-axis, so the slope equals what? Equals 0.
0.
And if the line is parallel to y-axis, so what is the slope? The slope is undefined slope. Did you get it?
Yeah.